Yes, yes, yes. This is what I want to see from Magna. This is a sheer improvement from what we've been getting. It is proven with these episodes, going through them with their pacing, with their insane amount of animation quality in some parts of this episode. Holy crap, there was a explosion of just talent and animators, and the amount of time where it's okay, here you go guys, this is your episode here, this is your time to shine for Luck and Magna, let them have their time. And they delivered with this one, because this was a heavily Magna and Luck based episode, and it gave a little bit of context about their relationship, and especially how those two had grown since the start of the series. And this was one of my favourite moments. If you'll remember me talking about the live action, live reaction to the opening with opening 4, when I was losing my mind, was they are doing the best part between Magna and Luck. I'm like, yes, because it's this episode. Why? Because you get to see that combination magic, flame lightning cannon, where they just both condense the energy and just boom, just slam it right into Vetto. And yeah, so we can talk a little bit about some good stuff about that. And oh, isn't it good, again, to talk about, the manga and its pacing as well? That's another good thing. So, we ended off with chapter 65 with this chapter, with covering now volume 8, and we should be covering maybe, if by going how we are right now, is that we have, I believe it was 51 episodes we confirmed for, so we have, 7 episodes left. Then, by going with that logic right now, we are probably going to cover parts of volume 9, and we're probably going to cover maybe 2, maybe 3 chapters in there, depending where they might be going with that. It depends. I think they could go overall, with how they're going, we could see with the next, we could see another 15 chapters. We could see 80 chapters being adapted in total for the animation on there. I know a lot of people said there was a specific chapter that they might end off on, but it could depend with where they're going at the moment on there. You never know. They could always try and pull a little fast one right at the very end. But this one covered about 2, I think it was 2 chapters in total with that, and it's just you can just tell compared to stretching one. And I'm glad they didn't, because I was are they going to extend that whole with a flashback? But then it was no, that's right after because we saw Kyoto and all them running, and it's that's exactly how that episode went. So when we dive into this episode, which definitely had some great moments where it was Kyoto and Kono's father, who was technically the strongest guy out of the water temple, who was facing off against Vetto. He was doing nothing. He was doing jack shit against Vetto, and then it's oh look, it's these maggots going at Vetto. He's how dare you even try and attack me? I'm going to give you the biggest despair that you've ever had. And where you just see just complete animators, time, money, all the work. So all the work is going into Magna and Luck attacking this dude as they're both swinging around, dashing. There was some really great effects with some of the lightning coming off on there, and these two are just excited, just didn't have time to fight about him. Meanwhile, with Yami, where this is the one thing I like about him, where he's yeah, no, that's cool, time to get up, let me cut down the wall, I'm getting out of here. And he's you can't though, my game magic doesn't work like that. He's alright then, give me the mic then, as he still tries to force his way out, because even he tried to do it, there is a guy behind him doing some spatial magic that's making sure that Yami can't, with even his little tricks and everything, even with his strength, it's you can't even go and push it yourself. And he's go out there, surpass your limits. You do get to see, which again the Shonen Jump arc will kind of spoil with the cat. I guess even as well the opening, you do get to see who exactly that blue girl is at the end, which is she didn't appear till episode 4. She had a cameo in there, so it's safe to say that's Grey. That you can just tell immediately straight away, and it's oh, even as well with the opening, and then as well with how they're doing with it, and it's you see that transformation there, and it's oh, it's Grey. Grey is Grey's real form, which is this shy little blue girl that you get to see, and it's like, oh, look at her and all that. Like, you want to, like, every time I see her, she's like, oh my god, she's just so innocent. Her whole thing is like, she's just shy, and it's like, I'm so embarrassed to show my true form, so I'm just going to use everyone else's one, because she doesn't like the way how she looks, and she doesn't like how she acts, but she's completely fine if she pretends to be someone else. Like, it's a little weird little quirk that she has, for the most part, but Yami's like, you guys all surpass your limits right now, you're all putting this on stage, and even the priest, he's like, fuck the tournament, if you guys can defeat Vetto, or at least participate in this, I will make sure your wishes are granted. Like, I'll make sure if you do a huge participation in this, then you can get your dreams come true. So Asta and Kyoto are like, right, instead of like putting their like stupid pride in the way, it's like, look, alright, I want to fight you, that's cool, that's a problem right now. We cool? Yeah, we cool. They just both dash in, and then they have a weird little talk. It's like the one little bit where I was like, this is like extended a little bit as the two are running by. I was like, yo, what's up with like your whole magic thing and like your key? It's like, I couldn't really read that well. It's like, well, I put myself into a trance state, and then it's just like, all right, then I'm gonna put myself in a trance state. And he just looks like he's stoned. He's like, ugh. It's just like he's going really completely off, and I'm like, all right then, like just sure, do your weird shit, Asta. You have the same thing happening with like Kohono and Noel, their whole thing where it's like, right, we need to kind of settle this another time, but it's all about Magna and luck this week, because that's what you get to see, because everyone else is dealing with their own stuff. Like Vanessa's just kind of like on her own at the moment. Like same thing with Finral's like, I just can't do much right now. But when we see Magna and luck and they're facing against him, and they're both kind of doing it on their own at first, and then you get their backstories a little bit, where it's like showing how the two of them meet, and it's interesting because you get to see both sides and what they were thinking at that time, where it's like, you get to see Magna's at first, where he was treating him, where it's like, he's like this dumb little Yankee, but he always respected his battle instincts, and like how he was like how he was in combat, and like how he was kind of just better overall general of him, and he had a lot of respect for him in that way. And then like we saw with Luck was like, I was able to have fun with this guy, even though like he pulled pranks and all that, and he was like, you know, sometimes he could be a little bit, you know, brutish and a little bit annoying and all that. He was my first friend. Like, he was someone I liked and all that. It's like they both admit to each other that they were their very first friends, and that no matter what, it's like they had a little moment where it's like, oh, if we lose right now, how will Asta feel, or any of the others on there? And it's like they're both there trying to surpass themselves. So Magna's there pulling out the bat, he's swinging, going at him like that. You got Luck, who, like, I think Luck and Vetto had the best like animated moments. There was, I will say, there's one weird moment in this episode animation wise, and it is, I'm pretty sure in the manga it was like Vetto was moving so fast that he attacks like both Magna and Luck, but in that image you see it's just two versions of him that are going at the same time, so it looks like he's cloned himself, and it looked really confusing like on there. So I don't know whether or not that was just like it was supposed to be blurred, or if it was supposed to be something else on there. But one thing interesting about Vetto as well, they did show some in-canon filler in this episode, but it actually showed him and the group getting to the War Temple, so it felt like they maybe would have probably wanted to end this episode here, but they wanted more of a bombastic thing, because that's what actually happens in the manga, is that he just arrives and he just smashes in with that whale. So this, but yeah, no, you get to see him like taking out some guards, and then him and his group just start smashing in. There's no real context, but you get to see Zeke's there, and he's like, oh shit, like, that's a problem. It's another Midnight Sun guy. So we get that moment there, and it's like, they're kind of wondering, like, how did these guys kind of go unnoticed? And it's like, well, they took out the guards and everything, and then they're getting crashing in here because there's no context at all in the manga. So well, I guess that kind of like says that as like how they were able to go in undetected for the most part. But that overall is like those two are going at each other, and then Magna and Luck, my favorite moment, and I'm glad they did it justice. I'm really happy. I was really worried it was going to be very like flat when it came to the anime, and especially I think the voice actors the most did like really deliver. It's like when they both like condense it, and it's like, we can't fucking beat this guy. All right, we can't do it on our own. Fuck it. Combine our magic. Let's go full force. Combo magic, flame lightning cannon. Just rip him into it, and it's like, even with that last bit, it was like Vetto, like, it was like, holy shit, I actually had a little bit of respect for you guys, like, after that, but not enough. And this is where, like, Asta's gonna have to come in, and it's like, of course, here comes our main protagonist, like, with, like, Kyato. So, I will say this about, like, because a lot of people say, oh, yeah, no, here comes the main character to clean up. No, there's a reason why this was, like, one of my favorite arcs for a while in Black Clover, because this, like, definitely everyone gets their time to shine in this arc, and I really like that about this, this whole arc, because everyone gets a shot at this guy, and it is great, and I love that, where it's just like, it becomes, it becomes just a complete and utter brawl, and it's just 9 people against 1 dude, and it is insane. So I'm very looking forward to when they do some of that stuff, and I'm looking forward to more, like I said, this feels a lot better now with its pacing. Again, like that's how I've been since the start, and I know people saying, stop mentioning about the fucking pacing, and I'm like, no, because it is a critique, and it has been a sheer problem, and as someone that is a fan of the manga, and that has been reading it, and owns every single fucking volume, I have all current 11 of them at the moment, where they're out of them, so yeah, I think I'm the most valid when I get to say, yeah, there are some issues with this adaptation, and it's a shame because it's all being put in from, like, midway through, like, after getting rid of the first arc. Like, I saw people still defending the first arc of the anime, and I'm like, no, I still think the first 13 are not great. There are some shining moments in there with, like, some, like, especially the first episode's art, like, just art style and, like, animation, like definitely backgrounds and everything was all really great. But no, pacing wise on there, and that filler was fucking awful, and, like, get that out of here. Second, the dungeon, pretty solid, had some issues, mainly, like, animation wise, was a little quality. Then third arc, real good. Then moving on to the Snow Village stuff on there, that's where we really, that's still, I think, the anime's best moment, but this is really, like, stepping itself up right now, and for, like, the last 6 to 7 episodes, I really hope we can get some really good stuff from here, because we've probably got a volume and a half left of material, and they want to cover it, and they want to go for it, and I cannot wait for that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, what you thought about this episode of Black Clover. I loved it. Like I said, there's pretty much same rinse and repeat as I did with last week. It fixes my issues that I've been having. It has been, like, getting moments of characters to shine. I think the music has been actually slightly decent, like, throughout the entire episode, like, run. If this does get another season, if this does come back for, like, another, anime or not, whether they're going to do, like, the Hero Academia thing at this point, where it's, like, or, like, the Haikyuu thing, where it's just, like, we're just going to do 24 episodes to 13, do it that way. Whoever is the fucking composer, I wish they get someone else, because it is still my weakest thing in this entire adaptation, and I honestly, every time it comes on, it's like, there are 1 or 2 tracks here, like, I felt like the Sea Temple stuff has had some of the best stuff, but it's like, this is one of those ones where it's like, I'm never going to pick up this soundtrack, and I'm never going to go back really to listen to any of that, apart from, like, the openings and endings have been, like, just fucking great. But that is all from me, though. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.